Have you ever wondered who makes sure your voice is heard? Or why you have the right to an education, no matter where you live? It's all part of a massive global system designed just for you. Hi, I'm Maya. Today we're going on a deep dive into the international human rights system, the laws and organizations that protect the dignity of every person on Earth. The modern system was born out of the horrors of World War II. After millions lost their lives, 51 countries came together in 1945 to form the United Nations. Their mission was simple but revolutionary: never again. They wanted to ensure that atrocities like the Holocaust could never happen again. In 1948, led by figures like Eleanor Roosevelt, the UN adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or the UDHR. It's the most translated document in the world. The UDHR outlines 30 basic rights that every human is born with. It's like a global rule book for fairness and dignity. It includes things like the right to life, freedom from torture, and the right to think and speak for yourself without fear. It also guarantees the right to an education and the right to a fair trial. But there was a catch. The UDHR itself isn't a binding law. Think of the UDHR as the blueprint. To make it legally binding, the UN created two major treaties that countries actually have to sign and follow. First is the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, which focuses on your civil and political rights, like voting and being protected from government overreach. Second is the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, ICESCR, which covers economic, social, and cultural rights, like health, housing, and the right to work in safe conditions. Beyond these, there are 9 core conventions that focus on specific groups or issues that needed extra protection. For you, the most important is the Convention on the Rights of the Child, or the CRC. It's the most widely ratified human rights treaty in history. The CRC defines a child as anyone under the age of 18. It legally protects your right to play, learn, and be heard. Under Article 3, every government decision must consider the best interests of the child as a primary concern. It gives you a seat at the table. Then there's the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, which focuses on ending discrimination against women and girls globally. It's often called the International Bill of Rights for Women. The International Convention to End All Forms of Racial Discrimination, ICERD, focuses on eliminating all forms of racial discrimination, making it illegal for governments to treat people differently based on their race. And the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, CRPD, protects the rights of people with disabilities, ensuring they have full access to society, jobs, and education. The CAT, or Convention Against Torture, is one of the most serious. It strictly prohibits torture and other cruel treatment under any circumstances anywhere in the world. The two other UN conventions are the International Convention on the Protection of the Rights of All Migrant Workers and Members of Their Families, ICMW, and the International Convention for the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance, ICED. So, how does any of this actually work? International law is tricky because there's no world police to arrest a country for breaking a treaty. Instead, the system relies on pressure, reporting, and something called the mobilization of shame. It starts with the treaty bodies. Every few years, countries must submit a report card explaining how they're following the rules. Independent experts then publicly point out where they're failing. The experts then issue concluding observations, a public report card that tells the world exactly where that country is failing to protect its people. In Geneva, the Human Rights Council, made of 47 countries, meets to discuss urgent crises and conduct reviews of every UN member state. This is called the UPR. Every 4 years, every country has their record reviewed by every other country. It's a moment of total global accountability. Then there are special rapporteurs, independent truth seekers who travel to countries to investigate specific issues like extreme poverty or freedom of the press. They talk to victims, collect evidence, and report directly to the UN. Their work is often the first step in bringing a crisis to the world's attention. For the most extreme crimes like genocide, we have the International Criminal Court, or the ICC. This is different. It puts individual leaders on trial, not just countries. Established by the Rome Statute, the ICC ensures that those who commit the worst crimes against humanity have nowhere to hide and will eventually face justice. But did you know there are also regional systems? These are often even more powerful than the UN because their courts can actually order governments to change. In Europe, the European Court can fine governments or force them to pay money to victims. Its rulings are legally binding on all 46 member states. Similar systems exist in the Americas and Africa, giving millions of people a local path to justice when their own national courts fail to protect them. So, here's the big question. Does all of this actually work? If we have all these laws, why are people still being treated unfairly in so many countries? Critics argue that powerful countries often ignore the rules without consequences. Torture and censorship still happen in over 150 nations today. This is called selective outrage, when the world punishes one country for violations but looks the other way when a powerful ally does the same thing. But it's not all bad news. The system was crucial in ending apartheid in South Africa. Global pressure and UN sanctions proved that the world can topple unfair regimes. Because of these treaties, dozens of countries have rewritten their national laws to include stronger protections for women, minorities, and LGBTQ+ individuals. And we can't forget the NGOs, non-governmental organizations. Groups like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch are the eyes and ears of the system. They have no legal power to arrest, but they do the research. Their evidence is often what the UN uses to hold governments accountable before the world. Recently, teenagers have been leading the way. In 2022, the UN finally recognized that a clean, healthy environment is a universal human right. Young activists are now using this to sue governments for not doing enough about climate change, using human rights law as a tool to protect their future. You might think you're too young to make a difference, but you're already part of the conversation. Knowledge is your first superpower. But being a human rights defender can be dangerous. Thousands of people risk their lives every year to speak up for others. Their courage is what keeps the system alive. We're also entering a new era: digital rights. As AI and surveillance grow, the UN is working to ensure your right to privacy and freedom exists online too. You might think you're too young to make a difference, but you're already part of the conversation. Knowledge is your first superpower. Step 1 is knowing your rights. Read the UDHR, look up the CRC, and understand the laws that were written to protect your dignity and your future. Step 2 is using your voice. Digital activism is real. Sharing facts and supporting human rights campaigns helps maintain that global pressure on governments. Step 3 is local action. Human rights start close to home, in your school, your community, and in how you treat the people around you every day. The international human rights system isn't a finished project. It's a living tool that gets stronger every time someone stands up for what's right. It's up to your generation to carry the torch forward and ensure that dignity and fairness aren't just words on paper, but a reality for everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Stay curious, stay informed, and remember, your rights are your voice. I'm Maya, and I'll see you next time.